What is going on, you guys? It's your boy Tam. Yes, all right. So, I'm stuck in traffic, so I thought I'd do a little stream. I'm definitely gonna get back to basics, talking about some other more important stuff, some more um, crucial stuff. But I thought I'd talk some boxing because it's a lot to talk about in boxing. A lot of different things going down. Okay, so you just heard today that Jake Paul apparently has reached a deal to fight Julio Cesar Chavez in Anaheim at the, is it called the Honda Arena or the Honda Center? So that's going to happen in June. Then, of course, you got Ryan Garcia. I'm going to tell you something. Ryan Garcia is capping. Now, I'm going to call the homie Jamil from YSL Media. I'm going to call him, get him on the horn and, talk to him about some stuff. And then, of course, 2 weeks from now, we got the return of Devin Haney. And I'm going to talk about that. I believe that he's going to beat Jose Ramirez. And I guarantee you people are going to make excuses. They're not going to give him credit if and when he beats Jose Ramirez. And Jose Ramirez is my guy, though. He's my guy, though. Real talk. He's my guy. Now, let's just get it started. Okay, so, it was announced a couple of days ago that, Team Haney is working with Sugar Shane Mosley. I'm going to do a solo video about that because my question is, can they trust Shane Mosley? And then at the end of the day, Shane Mosley kind of looked, he looked kind of suspect. He was talking all that stuff about Devin Haney and how he had an issue with him suing Ryan Garcia, and he was okay with the fact that Ryan Garcia popped dirty for PEDs. And I wish people would stop lying about that he had such a small amount, it wouldn't have made a difference in the fight. That is absolute cap. He had an astronomical amount of Ostarine in his system. So that's a lie. That's been something that they've been putting out. That's been, a narrative that's being pushed by the Ryan Garcia. End of the day, if Ryan Garcia was innocent and he got framed like he's claiming it, which nobody framed his lying ass. Ryan Garcia got framed, but he got 3 different lies that he got caught in on how that stuff got in his system. But yet he got the sympathy, and he was the one that cheated. Go figure. But you see how ass backwards a lot of these people is. That's just real talk. But I was laughing at the part. I'm talking about I was laughing when him and Oscar De La Hoya and even his father was talking about that they might want to fight Boots. Let me tell you something. Ryan Garcia ain't going to go nowhere near Boots. Let me tell you something. At best, that's a 5-round fight. When I say Ryan Garcia would be target practice for Boots, when I say he would get, man, first of all, you was full of roids and you couldn't even knock out Devin Haney. You couldn't even finish Devin Haney. He kept getting up. And then you was getting outboxed for primarily most of the fight. Those knockdowns was the only thing that saved you from losing that fight. So when I hear these morons sitting up talking about that Devin got whooped and he got dominated, you a damn lie. No, let me change that. You a motherfucking lie. But then again, it doesn't matter anyway. That's neither here or there because, we all know what happened with Ryan Garcia. They took the away. The reason why people were so distraught and upset because, a lot of these races, that was like they won up on the brothers. But then again, you have these, these typical, cornballs, these handkerchief heads that'll do anything for views, that's desperate for views and likes and clicks and all that stuff. They sat up there and condoned Ryan Garcia cheating. because they don't have no integrity. They all about views and subscribers. Like I said, I could have went that route. And one thing about me, I call it right down the middle. If you get caught cheating, you know, I get at you. And I done got at anybody who didn't pop dirty for using PEDs. I'm talking about current fighters, not fighters that's been long retired, because that's irrelevant. We talking about right now. But Ryan Garcia versus Boots, that's laughable. When I say that's laughable, that fight doesn't go 5 rounds. I'm talking about Ryan Garcia may run out of the ring in shame because he gonna get his ass beat so bad in that fight. And I'm gonna tell you something. Boots will go in there motivated. I'm telling you. So Oscar saying that they interested in that fight, they not gonna make that fight. They just talking. Ryan Garcia is going to Teofimo Lopez route. He doing what Teofimo doing. He's saying he want to fight all these dudes, and he'll fight all these dudes. At the end of the day, he's not gonna fight those dudes. Book it. Book it. Okay. I can't tell Boots what to do. I'm saying if I was Boots, and I'm not Boots, let me make sure y'all understand it. I'm not Boots, but if I was Boots, I would call Ryan Garcia's bluff. I would call Ryan Garcia's bluff. I'll say, okay, I'll take the fight on one condition. You fight me in Philly, I would give you a 60-40 split in favor of you. Because it'll be a pay-per-view fight. It'll be a pay-per-view fight. I'll be like, I'd call his bluff. I bet you they won't take that fight. I bet you they'll find or they'll sign to fight him and they'll pull out of the fight. They'll probably pull a Floyd Schofield probably the week of the fight. How that left hook gonna hit? How that left hook gonna touch Boots when Boots gonna be constantly hitting you with combinations and hitting you with body shots? Boots is too fast for Ryan Garcia, and he hit too hard. When I say he'll systematically break Ryan Garcia down, I wouldn't be surprised if he dropped Ryan Garcia in the first round. He'll drop Ryan Garcia in the first round with a body shot. And then it'll be downhill from that point on. It'll be a one-sided beatdown. I'm saying when I say it'll be such a lopsided fight, people would be, man, I'm telling you. Those racist fans, and particularly those Mexicans that jumped on Ryan Garcia's bandwagon only because they thought he beat Devin Haney, man, Boots would be all kind of mayates. They'll be saying, oh, well, this was a bitch match. I'm telling you, Boots will be the instant, man. I'm telling you, Boots will be instant vilified. They won't give him credit. Because when I say in no scenario, Ryan Garcia wins that fight. Ryan's defense is not that good. Still doesn't utilize the jab very much. Still fights sometimes with his hands down and has his face up. When I say Boots, oh my God. When I say that'll be a massacre, if you think Tank whooped on Ryan Garcia, I'm saying Boots will beat Ryan Garcia's ass so bad, Ryan Garcia may not even want to fight anymore. I'm talking about Ryan would hit the canvas like multiple times. Probably I'm saying that it don't go 5 rounds. It might not even go. It might not even go 4 rounds before his father throw in the towel and say we gonna stop this fight. Boots would be probably a Boots would probably be a 6-1 favorite in that fight. He would be an overwhelming favorite. Ryan not gonna take that fight. He just talking. But if I was Boots, I'd call a bluff. I say, okay, if you get past, and it's an easy fight to make. Boots is a matchroom fighter. Matchroom has a deal with the zone. Ryan is a Golden Boy fighter. They have a deal with the zone. It'll be an easy fight to make. And like I said, I'll say, okay, Ryan, I'll give you 60-40 in your favor. I'll bet you everything, Ryan ain't gonna take that fight if they call his bluff. They're gonna say, oh, they got other obligations. They're gonna say they want to focus on watch. I wouldn't be surprised if Boots show up to that fight. I was listening to the homie Jamil from I was listening to him earlier today. He was laughing. He was laughing at the fact that, but they just talking. They don't want to go nowhere near. When I say Boots, I'm talking about Boots with like I'm talking about it would look like what's love got to do with it? What Biggie say? Beat motherfuckers like hey, beat Tina. What's love got to do? So I'm just saying that fight is not gonna happen. They just talking. They talking about that hook. What about Boots' combination punch? What about his southpaw stance versus his orthodox stance? But Boots fights more orthodox to me than he does. He can switch to southpaw. When I say that fight would be a nightmare, Ryan would be seeing stars. So, not going to happen. It's cap. I'm talking about it's grade A cap. I'm talking about it's like top shelf cap. Not going to happen. Oh, yeah. And let me talk about something else, too. Let me talk about this thing with Devin Haney. I'm getting so tired of people sitting up there talking about if Devin Haney loses to Jose Ramirez, he's done. This is why I know most of y'all ain't real boxing fans and how remedial some of y'all sound. Since when losing one fight means that it's the end for you? Unless you just take serious damage. When I say Devin is locked in, he training, he gonna be ready. He gonna be ready on May the 2nd. But when I hear these dumbasses say that he's done if he loses, I heard some fool, I ain't even finna say his name, but he be saying a lot of stupid stuff anyway. He done said some stupid stuff on the internet before in regards to boxing. He done said stupid stuff in regards to Caitlin Clark. This is a dude that he tries to do shock value to get notoriety and get people to tap into him. No, I told you I don't get down like that. So let's just say, even if Devin was to lose to Jose Ramirez, which I don't think he is, that doesn't make any kind of sense whatsoever. So let me ask you this. This is why I know that y'all don't know nothing about boxing. This is why I know that y'all are really casuals trying to pretend to be boxing experts. When Joe Louis lost to Max Schmeling, was he done? Didn't he rebound? Didn't he rebound? When Sugar Ray Leonard lost that first fight to Durant, didn't he rebound? When Thomas Hearns lost his first fight to Sugar Ray Leonard, didn't he rebound? Didn't he become a Hall of Fame? Marvin Hagler got robbed in at least 3 of his fights where he should have got the nod. Didn't he bounce back? Didn't Ali bounce back from losing to Frazier? So that doesn't make any kind of sense. One loss doesn't mean that you should retire. Okay? So when I hear people say that, was Oscar done when he lost to Trinidad? No. No. Doesn't make any that don't even sound logical. So the only person I know that retired temporarily was Alexander Boslick. But then again, the way he got his ass beat by Arthur Beterbiev, I guess he had to sit for like 2 or 3 years before he came back. But he eventually came back. So when I hear people say that stuff, that just goes to show me that they don't know what the hell they talking about. They just talk it out the side of their ass. No, they're just hoping and praying. You know, it's like T Grizzly said, you know, they praying for people's downfall. Now, we haven't heard from Errol Spence in a while. Unfortunately, we don't know what's going on with him. A lot of people are concerned due to the fact that we haven't seen Errol Spence in pretty much 2 years. So yeah, there is cause for concern in regards to Errol Spence because we haven't seen that brother in 2 years. Doesn't have a fight date coming up anytime soon, and you've been hearing possibly about, you know, Manny Pacquiao. Now Manny Pacquiao is talking about he interested in fighting Tank. That's ironic that you've been hearing the return possibly of Floyd Mayweather because you heard that Floyd Mayweather allegedly offered George Kambosos a fight, and then you hearing about Manny Pacquiao allegedly possibly fighting Mario Barrios or Tank. My thing is, why don't Floyd and Manny Pacquiao just fight each other? I still think they could do some decent numbers in a rematch. Now, of course, they're not going to do the record-breaking numbers they did in 2015. Absolutely not. Because daytime it came and went. But I think out of curiosity, I think it'll do some decent numbers. I think both of them would have to take a massive pay cut. But I think there's like, you know, I think there's possibly maybe 10 million a piece. And then they would have to put together a decent undercard. But I think that Manny Pacquiao, Floyd Mayweather could do anywhere from 700,000 to $1 million pay-per-view buy just out of nostalgia because, you know, people remember the first fight. So, yeah, I believe, yeah, they should just fight each other. But then again, I think both of them at a time and place where they just like, yeah. But I'm going to be honest with you. I don't know even at this point, and what weight class would they fight at anyway? Even if Manny Pacquiao was to fight Tank, is Manny Pacquiao telling us that he can, you know, come out of retirement and fight at 135 again when he moved all the way up to junior middleweight? Is there any scenario that they can fight at a logical weight? We know Tank is not going to go up to 147. Everybody knows that, and why should he? What would be the weight? They would probably have to fight at a catch weight. And we know in a fight with Manny Pacquiao and Tank, they would have to be, you know what I'm saying, Tank would be the A side. So that's why I'm saying, what weight class would they fight at? That would be the question mark. That would be the the question mark in your head. Because what weight class would they fight at? What weight class makes logical sense for both fighters? But to me, this is showing me that probably Manny is having money issues and Floyd is having money. Well, it's pretty obvious Floyd is having money issues because you've been hearing all kind of stuff about Floyd. No, I'm not pocket watching. I'm just telling the honest to God truth. And based off the fact that Floyd got caught capping about the $400 million property that he's supposed to have bought in New York, 60 unit for, man, he went out. So there you have it. They should consider fighting each other, you know. But from what I heard, Floyd was going to fight Manny Pacquiao. But when Manny Pacquiao made those excuses about he had a shoulder injury and all this kind of stuff, Floyd got pissed off and said, man, I'm not fighting dude again, because he didn't take his L like a man. So there you have it. Now, let me talk about something else. Okay, so also you did heard that Jake Paul is going to fight Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. Julio Cesar Chavez, 39. I think Jake Paul is, 26, 27 now. Jake Paul is trying to further, legitimize himself by fighting at least a former champion in Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. I would give him a little bit more credit. I would give him a little more credit for this fight if one thing hadn't happened. Julio Cesar Chavez lost to a 40-something-year-old Anderson Silva. Got outboxed. So, once again, this looks like, another Jake Paul production. At this point, Julio Cesar Chavez has nothing to lose. And I don't think he cares about integrity going in there to actually fight. I don't think at this point he gives a rat's ass about coming to win that fight. If you guaranteed X amount of money, if Jake Paul guarantee you $15 million or something, oh yeah, you ain't gonna care. He has nothing to lose. We all know what he did with Canelo. He went in there, didn't even try versus Canelo. Didn't put forth one effort. I mean, it was one of Canelo's easiest fights. I'm talking about it was just a one-sided fight. And the thing is, it's so bad that people forgot that Canelo fought Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. You know why? Because it's a forgettable fight. Because it was an uncompetitive fight. Julio Cesar Chavez just went in there and just basically stood in front of Canelo and was his punching bag all damn night. So that's why I'm not putting too much stock into this fight with Jake Paul and Julio Cesar Chavez. So if he knocks Julio Cesar Chavez out, wouldn't be no surprise to me. I'm not going to sit up there and be like, oh, he knocked him out, because I know Julio Cesar Chavez. He has a history of not having a good work ethic. People had accused him of being lazy. A lot of people said that he half-ass trained for that fight with Sergio Martinez. And based off the fact, the results of the fight, if it hadn't been such a one-sided fight, with that 12th round knockdown that Cesar Chavez Jr. scored, you probably wouldn't be talking. You probably wouldn't even be talking about that fight, because that's the only moment he had. I'm talking about he was getting whooped from beginning to end. Now, just ask yourself this: he half-assed trained for that fight. Let's see if he really would have went all in. Who knows? The fight could have been much different. I still would have picked Sergio Martinez to win, but I thought Julio Cesar Chavez would have did far better. I think it would have been a more competitive fight. But we'll never know. So as far as fake Paul goes, this will be just another day at the office. This will be another Jake Paul and MVP promotions. he's gonna win the fight. He's gonna win. Jake Paul is gonna win the fight. It's just gonna be how he wins the fight. Will he knock him down a couple of times, or will he just outbox him, or will he just flat out like knock him out? But that's gonna happen. We all know what happened last time Jake Paul had an actual fight with a dude that was, under 25. He lost. And he lost to a part-time fighter in Tommy Fury, who is a part-time fighter. And I'm thinking to myself, well, damn, maybe if Tommy Fury would have been all in as far as boxing goes, who knows what would have happened in that fight. He might have would have knocked Jake Paul out. So, with that being said, I'm already knowing what's going to happen in that fight, so I'm expecting that. So, but let me circle back to Devin Haney working with Shane Mosley. I don't know how to feel about this. Like, once again, I can't tell Bill who to work with and who not to work with. At the end of the day, they the ones that's writing the checks. But Shane Mosley talked all that stuff about Devin Haney, about, he basically was insinuating he needed to take his loss like a man and all this kind of stuff. And now look at him sitting up there working him. Because I guess he didn't have some kind of fallout with Oscar again, because that's what usually happens. That's usually the tail of the tape. He has some kind of falling out with Oscar, and then, he becomes the defiant one. But it makes me kind of think, like, the reason why I'm suspicious of this is because, okay, you were just so anti-Team Haney just last year. Now all of a sudden you working with them to help them prepare for this fight. I don't know if Sugar Shane Mosley can be trusted. That's just my honest assessment. I'm just wondering, can this dude be trusted? Ask yourself that. Can he be trusted? So I don't know. I hope he can. But I guess we will find out in 2 weeks, because the fight is pretty much 2 weeks away. I'm probably going to do a breakdown video probably next week, like talking about these particular fights. I'm not going to lie. The most intriguing fight to me is Barboza versus Teofimo Lopez. I'm not gonna lie. I'm rooting for Barboza to win that fight. And that's all I can say.